Yeah, boy.
Welcome back, everyone. How deep was that? It was right up in the mic. Well, welcome back, yeah.
What are you saying?
It's like ASMR, isn't it? Should we do some ASMR podcasts? That's just some sex noises.
If you're fucking a clown. Boing.
Welcome back, everyone. It's episode 250. Quarter
250.
Yeah, man.
That's a big up, man.
Fucking quarter of 1,000. Is there a word for that? You know, when they say quarter of a century, quarter of a millennia, isn't it?
There's not a word for that though, is there?
Well, millennia, I mean, a millennia is 1,000, isn't it?
Oh yeah. But there's not a word for a quarter of it.
No, I know you're right. No, I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Well, the word is 250.
The word is a quarter.
You're all right. Welcome back. 250. It's a Sunday evening. We both got some merch on the go. We've got some merch samples, which will be revealed.
It's nice, isn't it? Like embroidered.
Yeah, man. So basically, this is Julian as.
I wore this
modelling.
on stage last night, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. With the
nice.
T-shirt, TVI T-shirt underneath.
Underneath. That's mental.
Yeah, holding my flask. Not really.
I'm drinking out of my TVI water bottle, which you've got one behind you. Mate,
Oh, yeah.
I've been taking this to the gym. I've been taking this everywhere. He said, I know this sounds like we're just about to start hawking merch, but it's actually a really good quality. But it's a good bottle, man. That's the right size.
Just talk about the merch the whole time.
And now the podcast is now on. Every episode is 45 minutes of merch chat.
It's called the Merch Pod. Because I was actually looking for some, because I kept reading about plastics are bad for you. So it's quite a result, actually.
Quite a well-known fact, isn't it?
Yeah,
Microplastics and all that shit. Yeah. But, that bottle's all right, man. You know, I'm glad with these samples. I think it's
going to save the planet, people, is what I'm saying.
Save the planet.
£149 is cheap.
Imagine we just put the merch on at the most ridiculous prices.
£1 a piece.
Guys, get yourself a hoodie, man. It's only £2. It's like Balenciaga. Just put some dog shit on it and say it's high
competing
fashion.
With Kanye.
Have you ever looked at Balenciaga's vibe?
Yeah, my daughter's got a pair, but she's got fake ones, but they were still pricey.
Like, I mean, the trainers are what they are. They're big, chunky ones. That's sort of fashion. But when you see their sort of high-end stuff, like it's a piss take.
I mean, the whole fashion industry is an absolute piss take.
Yeah, but on the whole, I think like most of it does filter down to a certain degree. You know, when you see like the sort of Paris, London fashion weeks, and they do like, you know, most of the big main traditional designers, their stuff is wacky when it's on the catwalk, but then a year later you see the high street version.
It's in H&M, like a H&M version.
But it's a pared down version, isn't it? So they'll be like, you know, the change of trouser that's in changes each year, and on the catwalk it's extreme versions. But then once it gets to, it just pares down.
A lot of the designers, I guess, get the inspiration from the street, though. So it's like full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think often, like, you know, people see someone on the catwalk wearing a mad trench coat that pokes out like that, and their trousers are
4 meter wide shoulders.
Yeah, and they go, oh, I can wear that. But then actually, if you look at what's in the shops a year later, it will be like trench coats with slightly like wider shoulders, and it will be trousers that have got a wider sort of traditional fit. And it's like, no, that's the idea of the fashion week, is it's the designers do the crazy shit, and then
there's
all the
just
other
so much bulimia,
them.
Anorexia, cocaine, abuse in those businesses, though, man.
In comedy,
in my house,
in dressing rooms,
up top secret this evening.
Do you know somebody? Here's a funny thing. Since we're talking about fashion, right? I did a very fun gig in Runcorn on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
The Comedy Office. I'm sure you've done it.
I did it years ago, yeah.
It's a really fun gig and nice, fun
Is that
bunch
Adam's
of people.
Gig, yeah?
It's
or it was at one point.
Freddie booked me for it.
Oh, okay.
And but it's and that lovely guy Tony runs it there. But it's just outside Runcorn. Nice big sort of Friday gig, and Dave Longley was hosting.
I like Dave.
Carl Porter was in the middle, who I've never met. The guy, I'd seen his videos. Carl Porter's the guy who did the the football celebration one that went so viral, like arguably one of the most viral comedy routines I've ever seen.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
You definitely would. It's a guy doing it's a goal celebration, but in slow motion. And he acts it out. It was like last year, I'd say it was the most watched stand-up bit by a British comedian.
I'll have
Like
to
I
have a
saw
look.
people in Australia were talking to me about it, man. And but it's just that, and he sort of does some really funny videos. But like, so it was cool to meet him, just like having watched his videos and stuff. And but it was I was on stage at the end. I was having a lovely gig. They were really fun. Oh man, you're having a nightmare there.
Yeah, sorry. I
Bottle on your
didn't know
head.
what that letter was, so I moved it. People scrolling in.
Just zoom in and see a
I'm a
bailiff
penis
letter.
enlargement letter confirmation.
Yes, sorry, it's too small. The surgery won't work.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some new
There's like a balance in
glasses.
that bottle on your head. But anyway, so I'm on stage, right? I'm having a lovely gig. It's about 7 minutes into my set. And some big sort of bald geezer in like the second row starts and I went, "Oh, what's that, mate?" And he went, "Hey, mate, I've never fucking seen jeans like that in my life." Like that, right? About my jeans I was wearing, right?
Yeah.
And starts cracking up. And I was like in my head thinking, has something happened to my jeans? Like something, I've got my cock out, my flies are undone, I've got a stain down it, a big piss stain. So I'm looking down at my jeans and I was like, "What's wrong with my jeans?" And he goes, "Mate, I've never seen a pair of jeans like that ever." You know, and basically I was like, "What are you talking?" And I said to the audience, "Are my jeans weird?" And everyone was like, "No." And I literally was wearing a navy pair of Levi's 511s. They're probably the most normal jeans I've got. It's a straight leg Levi's. I had a little turn up on them, right? And he literally was like, "Mate, honestly, I can't believe your jeans." And like, I was like, in my head, I was like, is he on something? Or is he like genuinely just so like, he thinks these, and I said to him like, "Mate, what," you know, and I did quite a funny joke. I said, I went, "Oh mate, I'm sorry, I'm from London. Like this is what we're wearing there. You lot will be wearing it in about 10 years." Like that.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
quite a funny piss take, isn't it, right? And got a laugh. Everyone was on my side, isn't it? Because they just thought he was being weird. And then about 5 minutes later, he did it again. He just started like, "Oh mate," I saw him sort of reacting to something. I went, "What's up?" And he goes, "Mate, I just can't get over those jeans." Like, and it was like, it honestly felt
He's
like
just
I was
trying to
wearing
be
a pair
funny, and it's just ain't funny.
No, it weren't. And like literally, it just hit. Like everyone around was looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And he tried it again. A couple of times. He just tried to shout over a punch. Like as I was getting a laugh on a punchline, he tried to shout, like, "Not in them jeans" or something like that. And then and it was so funny because I dealt with it a few times. It was fine. I was having a nice gig, so it didn't really bother me.
Sounds
But
like
then,
he's trying to ruin your set by the sounds of it.
yeah, but I wouldn't mind if he was shouting. I'd rather if him shouted out "your shit" because at least I can then get into it with him.
Yeah,
But it was
yeah.
just like it was such a weird
Well,
thing.
you're
I was like,
used
I
to
don't
that one.
think. But like, it was in my head, I was like, I don't think you actually think my jeans are weird. They're normal. They're a normal pair of man's jeans. Like, see the shit I was wearing 10 years ago when I was like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
going through a divorce wearing.
You should have got him on
fucking
stage
leggings.
and see what the audience think about who's got the
Well,
best
this is what happened.
jeans.
So it turns out democracy prevailed. Not even democracy, mate. Like, he got absolutely eviscerated by another audience member. So about 5 minutes before the end of my set, he just chipped in again. And at this point, I actually was a bit annoyed, and I was about to sort of get stuck in, and he just went something about, "Oh," I said a punchline about something totally unrelated. He went, "What in those jeans?" Like that, and I just went, "Oh man!" I went, "You still going on about my fucking jeans?" And I think I was looking visibly annoyed, and I turned to him. I went, "All right, how about we do this? Let's see, what fucking jeans are you wearing?" Like that. And as I said that to him, a woman just a few seats down, didn't know him, just went, "Elasticated," like that. And fucking, mate, the crowd went mental. They started literally round of applause for the woman, man.
Good.
And so I didn't have to say another word. He literally got shut up by another audience member so hard.
I mean, that guy was
Elasticated.
trying to ruin your set. Like he was actually being a cunt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was being a cunt. Yeah,
And like, what an arsehole.
it's such a weird thing. Do you know what? Because all the years where I used to actually wear mad stuff, when I had the big hair, I used to wear like super skinny jeans. I used to wear big Cuban heel boots, man. Like, I've really got shit about how I looked. So it was really weird to suddenly I probably look now the most normal I've ever looked. I look like just a man, probably like just a normal middle-aged man.
Yeah, he was
So it was
just being a
weird. I found
cunt.
it very odd. I think he was being a cunt.
Who else was on?
Connor Burns.
Oh, I know Connor, yeah.
Yeah,
I did the Glee weekend with him once.
He's a lovely man.
Irish, isn't he, or Scottish?
Scottish.
Yeah.
But,
Same thing.
Dave Longley, a woman heckled him who had she was an older lady with long, sort of, that blonde hair that's sort of blonde grey. She was old enough that it was definitely veering grey, but it was sort of probably technically blonde.
Sometimes young people get grey.
She heckled him, and he called her Saruman, which is the wizard from Lord of the Rings, and it fucking done me in, man. It's so rude. You know, fucking don't try chatting to me, Saruman.
I like Longley. He's a good guy, isn't he?
He's funny, mate. He don't give a shit.
He don't give a fuck.
I love it. He dug out some people so funny, man. He's a. We should get him on. He's got a funny podcast, new podcast he's just started doing that's out.
I did ask him a few years ago. I don't know if he...
He just didn't want to come on.
Yeah.
Didn't want to talk to you or me.
Didn't want to reply.
I should get him on to talk exercise, man. He's a beefcake, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, man. He squats heavy, man.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Man's
Did you ever know him before he was a big boy?
I met him a few times, yeah. Like, he looked really slim, actually. He was a slim guy.
Super slim. Yeah, just a tall, slim man. And then he just got
I actually got him into the UFC years ago. Now he's like a fanatic.
Is it?
I said to him, you need to watch the UFC.
Right.
And he got into it. He might have a different story, but I'm pretty sure he'd say that.
Yeah.
He might say, what? Who?
So anyway, where were you this weekend? Where were you gigging?
Thursday I was with you, wasn't I? Was it Thursday?
Oh yeah, of course. We did that, yeah. So we did a little episode that was just on Patreon, didn't we, on the drive back?
Yeah. And on Friday...
apart, mate. He rocked the joint.
Friday I was in near Alton with Marcus Brigstock. I forget the name of the place. James said it was Alton, but you know when promoters say it's there, but it ain't. It's like 20 miles past.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's just in Birmingham, and it ends up being in like fucking Wolverhampton. Or
yeah.
something.
It was one of them, but it was a nice gig, man, with Paul Revel, lovely guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Raymond and Mr. Timpkins.
Oh man, they're such. I mean, the set is amazing. Obviously, it's like a sort of seminal comedy set to see.
They're such lovely guys, man.
But they're just the nicest. But they have such nice people to have in a green room. They're so just chilled and cool.
Yeah,
and
just
like,
normal and
funny. Yeah,
I really like Paul Revel as well. He's like one of the nicest blokes, I think, isn't he?
It's such a big thing having a nice green room, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And then last night I did Southampton University.
Oh, how was that? I remember you telling me
it was all right. They're all freshers, so they're all like young, man.
Young, man.
They're all like born in 2006.
You could be their granddad.
I know. I probably was. It felt weird. Like I didn't want to talk about like sex. It just feels weird.
Yeah.
So, I swerved a little bit.
Yeah, but like 18-year-olds as well look way younger than when we were. I'm sure.
Yeah,
you see like 18-year-olds from like the 50s, and they look like they were about 80 years old.
I know, like Humphrey Bogart. He was like 17 or something. Cary Grant in a suit.
It's a suit, grey hair, just side pipe.
He's a detective.
No, but I mean, it is that, and obviously, like then
they're a good crowd though, because when they're young, they can be a little bit tenser, especially freshers, eh?
But maybe I reckon it might be swinging back a bit. It's like when you look at the audience in Top Secret, isn't it? Like it's all like 18, 19-year-olds, and
you could get away with risky stuff in Top Secret as well. And you would have thought there'd be like a more of an offended crowd, but they're not, are they?
I mean, it's nonsense. I don't know where it comes from. I think, it comes out of a lot of people that spend too much time online. Always like young people, mate. You can't say anything around them nowadays.
I know, yeah.
And like, especially comedians who aren't that good and don't play the big clubs.
They'll
say like, you can't say anything on stage now. And it's like, if you're at a store, or at a Top Secret, you're at backyard, anywhere, mate. You watch people doing all manner of crazy shit and pushing the boundaries, like, and no one gets upset at all in the room. And if they do, it's normally done in a funny, a bit of a back and forth. And
I've never really seen anyone get offended at Top Secret.
Nah.
And they're young, man. Like, aren't
most,
they?
you know, very rarely does it happen. And I'd say the percentage of times it happens is about the same as it's ever been.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, it's
always been.
true.
Yeah, I just think it's a myth, man.
When I
Maybe
was an open
online, people are
spot,
more sensitive.
doing open spots at Jongleurs, they had a letter sent to them. It's probably an email, but they said like I was offensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fucking years ago.
Exactly. It's been happening forever, and I don't think it's increased. I think online, obviously, that's a different thing. The reaction to like online videos, because they're out in that world, isn't it? But in the live environment, I don't think it's any different now to it ever has
I've
been.
had
I think it's
people on
normally shit
my.
comedians who say that.
I had a couple of little videos on TikTok, and I don't use it, but they're just on there, and like people below it are well offended.
Yeah,
It's
that's 'cause
fucking crazy.
but that's TikTok and all those things, isn't it? That's what people do on there. All they
Yeah,
do is
yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
stuff they don't like and moan about it.
I
And
know, man.
But I don't think you should base your thought. That no one should think that relates to the real world.
No, it doesn't at all.
Because no one acts like that in the real world. No one walks down the street looking for stuff to and go, that's disgusting. No, it's just not how you are. It's only you're only going to do that if you're just sat bored at home and you've got the distance to be able to do it without getting punched in the
It's
head.
like road rage, isn't it? Like no one's going to be that angry if you're in an elevator with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's nonsense, man.
I had a woman come up to me a couple of years ago after a gig in Bedford, and she was like, "Oh, hi, I used to work for the BBC," and she started telling me about a couple of my jokes, and I just so didn't give a fuck what she was saying, man.
Yeah. Just, I don't care.
It was like, oh. But I weren't being rude back because she was like quite, I don't know, just being, oh man, it was such a Karen. I know that phrase is well overused, isn't it?
Yeah.
But she was such a Karen, man.
It's funny when you see one of them in the wild because obviously you see a lot like them videos obviously go around like this is a Karen and and it is a genuine type of person.
Definitely.
I saw one down the road from me about 2 weeks ago. I got to the end of my road and there was a workman over just over the other side fixing like a sort of water. He had the water drain off. He had a big thing around it, all the barriers, and had his van running to power a generator because he had a machine that was going down into the drains. And as I was walking past, I could see there was something going on. And there was a woman just leaning out at her window. She was in the top flat upstairs, and she was shouting out, "Can you turn that off? You just got that thing running all morning." And this was like 11:30 a.m. She's got, "What? I've got to sit in my house and listen to that." And he was like, "I need it to run to power the pump. I'm fixing the drains." She was like, "Yeah, but it's just making a noise constantly. Can you just turn it off?" And he was like, "No, I literally can't. The council have got me here to fix the drains. Otherwise, it's going to overflow." And she was like, "Yeah, but I don't care what the council is saying. I don't want to listen to your." He was like,
I mean, the fucking arrogance, though. Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's all right. Just ruin the whole street's
like the
water
world
supply
revolves around
because you're watching
them.
This morning and you can't hear.
You can say, "Look, your voice is really annoying me. Can you shut up?" You know what I mean?
But I did that thing of I made eye contact with him as I was walking past because he was just looking out the window, and like I looked at her, man. I just started laughing. I couldn't help it, and I could see she was just fucking livid, man. That I just obviously was laughing at her, like, which I think is the response, isn't it? When you see somebody so annoyed about something, they shouldn't be annoyed about. If you laugh, that's the killer for them, man. Because that's like it's like
makes
holding
them
a mirror
worse,
to them,
and then it's funnier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they are real Karens.
Yeah,
they just remind me of like people I was getting in trouble with as a kid as well. That's why I've got to I don't know. I just think, oh, shut up. I don't care. I'm an adult now. I can say fuck off. I'm a parent myself.
Oh man, I am. But yeah.
I'm always polite though. I mean, it don't really happen a lot. Only a handful of times really. People have said, "Oh, that was a bit. Can you think about not saying that?" And I just like, no.
Be like, yeah, I've just thought about it, and I've decided, no, I'm going to stick with it.
I was just like, it's not true what I said,
Yeah.
Like, she was like, oh, I don't know. They're just fucking stupid. Just the arrogance, man.
Well, so Friday I had the guy about the jeans, and he annoyed me because I just think like you say, I think he was being a dick. And
I
I've
hate
not
it
had
when
it's
someone's
weird.
malicious trying to ruin your set. You know what I mean?
But
Even if
last
they
night,
don't achieve it, it's just annoying, isn't it?
it just annoys you because you're like, why would I've literally just come here just to say some jokes, man? And
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
else was so into it, was having such a laugh, and then just having some one weird cunt trying to mess it up. But last night I was at the Oxford Glee, and there was just a one weird group of four people who just could not stop doing that thing where they sort of almost positively heckling that thing. I know it's a hard thing to explain to non-comedians this, but
I think that's a bit of
most annoying
cocaine sometimes, isn't it?
maybe because the most annoying thing you get is a rude person shouting out to try and disrupt you, right?
Yeah.
I think the next most annoying thing is probably like chatter, people just chatting. That's just
I
rude,
do
isn't it?
that, yeah, but
But that's the third most annoying, I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
is
yeah.
that people
Chatter is,
who
yeah.
chat like in terms of when there's just a group that are
They
rude and chatting because
can't
it's
not speak to
it
each other.
distracts the audience and it distracts you. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
It's
so,
bad
but
for the
people just
audience.
shouting out like repeatedly, like at the end of bits that yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, yeah. Like I
No
find
one
that
cares.
infuriating, man, because you're like you can't really. They're not being mean. They're actually being supportive. But
Yeah,
how do you deal with? You can't. It's hard to tell somebody. Can you stop enjoying this as much as you are?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't want you to. I don't want you just to agree with everything. Just sit back and wait for the ends, and then
Or
no,
if someone's got a
be a normal
really,
person.
they're really laughing, but they're almost disturbing the audience, and you, like, you want them to laugh, like, but
I
it's like, all
know.
right, mate.
You want us to laugh within very specific
Yeah, yeah,
parameters.
yeah. And their
It's like you
laugh is
realise.
so weird or something.
I know. You don't. I mean, this is again. You don't realise how you know, like not fragile we are, but there is. We comedians. We do want things within very strict
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
boundaries. I want them to. I want them just to listen, laugh, really enjoy it,
And
give me a
love
nice clap
me
on and off, love me,
like my
maybe follow me
mum
online.
never
That's
did.
all I want. I know. I don't want much more than that. I don't. But what I did is there's loads of things I do not want, and I think that list it grows the longer you do comedy, isn't it?
Talking amongst themselves is like, I don't know. As the years go on, it's like just annoying. It's just rude.
I just think
Not
it's
for me, but
weird
for the other audience, the people sitting next to them.
because I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's in the same league, but like it just
Rape.
strikes me that some people struggle to watch something and then just enjoy it and not like, talk. Like it doesn't happen that much at the cinema. When it does, it's such a weird. You watch a film at the cinema and you hear just people chatting.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that, it's an aberration. Like, but in comedy, it's not as much of that, but it still just strikes me as like, why can't you just watch stuff like a normal person and
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
wait for the break to have a chat about it?
I saw that Demi Moore film the other day.
I want to see that.
It's good, man.
Is it scary?
I wouldn't say scary.
Gory? Is that what it is?
It could be. It could be a bit, yeah. Yeah,
I
I'd say
forgot your
so.
parameters of that. You just nothing can phase you because you
Yeah, I
just
watch
watch
so much
snuff
fucking.
movies most of the time.
But yeah, it was good. It was really well directed. I liked it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
interesting, and had a bit of a message. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was
Where did
good.
you watch it? Cinema.
Cinema, yeah.
Okay. I might go. I do want to see it. There's a few films in the cinema I want to see at the minute. I
Deadpool and
watched.
Wolverine. I saw. Oh, we spoke about that. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it
I
was
want to
shit.
see
I even
that.
thought it was shit. I'm not going to watch it until I'm on a plane. That's my rule with Marvel films.
What's that other film? Speak No Evil here or something. What's that
Is that the
actor's?
one with James
Yeah,
McAvoy?
him. He's good, isn't
That's
he?
yeah, man. He's wicked. I saw a trailer of that. It looks all right.
Yeah, I
I
might have a
watched
butchers at that.
the Sopranos documentary, which is
What is
so
that
good.
on?
It's on Now TV. It's a Sky documentary,
Ah,
and it's 2 parts about David Chase and the Sopranos. And if you're a Sopranos fan, it is just like fucking catnip, mate.
yeah,
Like
mate. I
you get
might
to
have
see
a
all the
go at that.
original, their audition tapes and stuff. It's proper mental. Like it's so good.
The thing is, I haven't seen Sopranos for years. It's whether it kind of ignites that again.
I'd rewatch it maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe rewatch it before you watch the documentary.
Oh well, man, yeah.
But
I still feel a bit brain dead from taking them hair pills. You know that?
have you stopped them?
Yeah, yeah. I stopped.
Just for listeners who aren't aware of this, have you told? Did we talk about it on here? I
I
think we
don't
talked
think
about it on
so.
Patreon episode. I don't think we've talked about it
Like, I know a
publicly.
couple of people who are taking those hair pills and
So it's finasteride, just for anyone
finasteride. So
who's...
I thought, I mean, my hair is in good nick, you know what I mean? I'd
You're thick,
say.
mate. I've got mine well thin on top. Look how thin mine is up on the crown. I need some. Yeah, I should be. If I was worried, I'd be taking that. But I wouldn't even. I'd rather go. I'd rather look like Yul Brenner than fucking take some shit that messes up your willy and your brain.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got some. I thought I'd do one a day. Why not? You know what I mean?
How did you get them? Did you get them? Where'd you get them from?
I got them online.
Oh, you can just get. I think you can just order them, can't you?
No,
Just do
you
little
need a
questionnaire.
prescription, but it's easy to get the prescription.
That's what I gather. It's not like you don't actually have to go to a GP or anything.
No, you
People I
need a
know
prescription
that-
for them. Yeah.
But I think you can get diagnosed online. You don't have to actually go to your own GP.
Yeah, there's this website that I found that you can just put in. Say, I said that I get them on prescription, but you have to do
Yeah.
a quick. And then I just got them sent to me, and I took one. I just thought I'd take one a day. Why not?
Yeah.
And for no reason, it's just silly of me, man.
Yeah, and basically, for anyone who doesn't know, so there's basically it's finasteride. It's a hormone suppressant, isn't it?
It
So
suppresses your DHT. Is the hormone that when that rises, that's the hair follicles. DHT. It's a hormone. It's in your balls and all that. So I think it does affect. I need to plug my fucking laptop in. It does affect. Yeah, it is hormones. I don't know exactly how it works, but man, it did fuck me up.
I've heard loads
I
of
felt
people
like I was on
tried it,
PMT or something.
but that's it. Everyone, like, I don't know anyone who's tried them who hasn't had negative mental health responses to it.
Yeah, and the people I know that are on it and been on it for years, I've noticed, oh yeah, they're a bit moody actually.
Yeah. It's that thing
a bit
with your
paranoid and like...
you should fuck with your hormones as little as you can. They are definitely, it's your body. Your body is regulating itself with them, and you're just throwing anything that is just weird into
there's
it.
There's always
dangerous.
you know what I mean, there's always a reaction, like isn't there? You put something in, even if you get something positive, there's definitely going to be something happening.
I know. So yeah, I think it's a good move not getting off them.
Yeah, I stopped. I must have done 6 or 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You say I mean, from what I could tell you were.
It didn't take much for me to melt down, which is worrying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do think your sort of your foundations are pretty.
I'm on a tightrope. When we've done mushrooms and stuff, or like when I've done
old buildings, man, your foundations are so wonky.
My personality's built on sand, muddy quicksand.
Oh man!
But it's like if I have ever done like psychedelics over the years. I haven't done them for years, man. But I'm definitely on a tightrope on them. It could go bad, it could go great, but
that suggests there's some you need to strengthen those foundations, and I wouldn't say the thing for that is finasteride. That is definitely not going to help.
I mean, we live and learn, innit? I won't do them now.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
If I go bald, I'll just kill myself, innit?
Exactly, that is the option.
Just cut my head off.
Just be bald and live with that. Get a hat,
They say that you get it from your mum's side in the family, don't you?
Yeah, my mum's a bald man.
My mum's got like 2 bits of the side of her head, like an old 70s fucking accountant,
like 1500s monk.
Friar
My mum's got a big old head of hair on her still, thick curly hair.
Yeah, but it won't be from your mum. It'd be from the male people in your mum's side, like her dad.
But I'd say I've got the same hair essentially as my dad,
as your mum,
my granddad, like my dad's dad. My dad went sort of thin on top there where I am.
Okay,
it's thin up on the crown, right? So my dad had that from when I was born until he died. He still had his hair when he died.
Okay.
At 80, but he was just thin up on here, just that bit there, as a lot of people are. He still had the hair at the front, all around it.
I mean, as
But
thinning goes, that's probably the best place, isn't it? If you're going to go
yeah,
thin.
I think basically, yeah, you'd rather go thin from the crown than thin from the front, innit? Where
Yeah,
you
like
get
your
that when
forehead
the
grows an
proper.
inch every decade.
I know, man. Yeah, that's that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it
Some
if you
people it
own it.
suits that kind of that big McDonald's M.
Oh, also, I mean, look at the George Costanza from Seinfeld. That guy looked wicked with that bald down the middle's
Which
hair at the
one's George
sides.
Costanza again?
The little bald,
Oh
chunky
yeah,
one,
yeah,
really
yeah.
funny. The best character in the whole show.
Yeah, he's great,
Um,
man.
but that style of hair, the Larry David, isn't it? That's what it is. It's Larry David looks funny and cool and owns it. I don't
He
think I think he'd look worse with hair.
Yeah, I think so.
So some people, but I actually think if you do go bald from the front, the one that if you just have that where it's fully bald on top and you got hair at the sides, it looks quite cool. But I think it's when you get that sort of weird, that one where you get like the front little bit and it goes bald down there,
Yeah, like
down
wasn't
the
like Clint
sides.
Eastwood like that.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, yeah, I
It
suppose
looks
he's
all
just
right
sort
on
of
some people that does though.
yeah. But I think a lot of people, that's the one that they sort of stress out and they want to fill them front bits in with their fucking batty hair, whatever it is that they do plugs with. I don't think they do it
Yeah.
with arse hair anymore, do they? They do it from the back of your hair. I think the people I know that have had it, they sort of take like the inch off the bottom of your hair and they put it there.
What, the hair they put there?
Yeah, I think they take the follicles now from the bit above your neckline. That are like,
I know a
it just
couple of
seems a bit
guys that have had
weird.
theirs done, yeah, in England and in Turkey. I know a
Yeah,
couple of guys that have had the turkey teeth. They're too
that's
white though.
bad. Yeah, they're so white, man. I've got to get
Roger Ramjet.
I've got to get a root canal on my front, another root canal.
Oh, I had
And
one on my front a couple of years
it's
ago.
really annoying, man. And I need to so I'm going to have to get a crown put on the front. And they said about they went, oh, we'll do some whitening before we do it, just to get them because it just happens just get them whitened a little bit, innit?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to get I said
Before
to him,
you'll
I don't
get a
want them,
dentist to touch them, they need to be cleaned.
he said, well, can we clean these before I put my hands in there? We could use a bit of bleach. But but he said you can take them as white as you want. These whitening things we're going to use, it's almost up to your discretion. You'll do it for a month. Stop whenever you feel like they're white enough. And I was like, oh mate, but I don't want to end up with that bloody turkey vibes. Do you know what I mean? I don't
I
want to
mean,
look
white
the only
teeth
way is
are
Essex.
good though, aren't they? Yeah, I doubt they'll go.
But
I mean, the turkey ones are like fake teeth, aren't they?
yeah.
I mean,
They're
like
just so
white as
shiny.
snow.
I know, they look shit, man.
Yeah, look, it's better than grotty teeth, I suppose.
It is, I mean, yeah, if you between the two, you'd rather the big shiny thing
Some
than
people
like a
have got
sort of
grotty teeth, and you think you could fix your teeth and you'd look so much better.
yeah. Right, I forgot we need to do some questions, man.
Oh
We
yeah,
started chatting
I
nonsense
feel a
for
bit
too
brain
long.
dead tonight. Like I
I
don't
feel
know
a
if it's
bit.
them
I feel a bit
tabs.
tired. I did. Yeah, because I was away for the weekend. I've not done a weekend away for so long. Like, just
Yeah.
not. I'm always gigging in London or around the south. I never ever spend a night away from home. And this weekend I did Runcorn on Friday. Stayed in Coventry. I stayed in a spa hotel in Coventry. So I
Oh yeah,
stopped off on
was
the
it
way up.
nice?
It was all right. Yeah, I had a little sort of gym, a little sauna, steam room, and then I just then went up to the gig and then came back to Coventry that night, stayed in a hotel. And Saturday, because I had a whole day to kill before Oxford, I went to Stratford upon Avon and I did a 2-hour Shakespeare walking tour, like a guided tour to all Shakespeare, like where Shakespeare was born, where he's buried, his last house, all that stuff, where he went to school.
Or
It's
what, you
fucking
walk
wicked.
around in a group?
Yeah, with a guide as a group and just takes you to all the
You could have just
Shakespeare
joined the
sites.
group without paying.
It was only a tenner. I'm not that much of a cheapskate, mate.
Yeah, I might just stand a metre away from everyone.
But it was well good. I've been to Stratford a few times. I've never been to any of the sites. It's really cool.
I've never done that stuff like that, yeah.
It's really. I
like a bit of
recommend it.
Shakespeare.
So do I. And that's So I just thought I'd see where he was born and raised. So that's a recommendation. But I am tired basically because I got back late last night just because of motorway closures. Questions, Bill. What do you do when you're performing? Oh, hang on. Oh no, that says we'll do that one in a sec. 'Cause that's not if I missed some questions. What are the best pranks you and your mates did growing up? Best
I mean,
pranks.
Knockdown Ginger was the main one. I used
I
to
know.
love that game.
It was really fun, but then you got to an age where you started taking it a bit far, innit? I remember we just.
Knockdown Stick, where we'd lean a stick on the door and
That's
run.
funny. Um, yeah, that was, we used to egg houses and shit, man. We used to go trick or treating when we were like 15. We was no outfit, no fancy dress. You'd basically just knock and be like, trick or treat. Basically, what you were saying was give us a bit of money or we're going to smash your windows. And it's just like, it's fucking rude. And just people would just give us money.
Man, I was smashing windows when
basically
I was about
extortion.
8 or 9. I was a
Yeah.
delinquent, man. I smashed
mad, innit?
the school window. On the way to my school, I smashed the window of another school. The teachers come running out, and I went, fuck off.
Oh,
And I
man.
ran to my school. Obviously, they know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And then
Probably had the
about an hour
uniform on
later,
as well.
in the morning break, like the teachers from that school were getting walked around looking for me. They found me. I got suspended, man. I was like 9. My dad had to come down and get me.
It was
He was
criminal
laughing though. He was like saying, "What did you do? You swore at them like that?" And he was like laughing. He said, "Don't."
Do you know,
Like, my mum was
I'll tell you
livid.
funny. I don't know if I told it on here before, but my mate Daniel, he was always well good for a prank, but from a really young age, like it's like he got it earlier than anyone else. And I remember we were like, I reckon we might have been 8, and we made a Ouija board.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And we were playing with it in the playground, just in a little secret bit. And my mate, like, it started moving, and it said that it spelled out a name, man, some creepy name. And just as it got to the end of the name, my mate Daniel just jumped back like that, and just like sort of. Then we were like, oh, and he just sat up. He looked at us. And he just walked off like that. Just didn't say anything to us, and he just kept it up all day, pretended he was possessed, and he kept it up till the next day. So he left school, just walked home on his own, didn't look at anyone. And we were like, we shat ourselves. We spent, everyone who was part of the group spent the whole evening thinking we'd got one of our mates possessed by the devil. And then the next morning he just walked in laughing. It was like such a funny, like, that's like next level pranking from like such a young age.
I remember once when I was in my 20s after work, and my mate Duncan, well, he was like someone else who worked in the office, so he weren't like a close mate, but he pretended he was blind the whole night.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, so there were people helping him, and there was a guy having a go at me because I wasn't helping my blind mate.
Oh, that's funny. That is top draw.
And once me and Duncan, we were out of our head. This was just off Edgware Road in the Larrock, and it's nice around there, like nice apartments and stuff. And me and him were in suits because we're working, and we ran into a residential building pretending we're police, showing our like wallets. Everyone got out of the way.
Yeah.
And we're just fucking around, like pretending we're feds. This is in a private, really plush, rich residential block. And in the end, this woman was like, "Oh, sorry," and she's getting out of our way. We're just charging up the stairs. And she said, "Can I just have a look at?" She was a lawyer, and she just took hold of our feet, and we just ran, man. It was funny. But I did fucking endless pranks, man. It was so funny. I remember once I smashed a window. I was about 8 or 9, and the guy came out and chased me. My mate ran another way, and the guy chased after me, and it was just me and the guy.
Oh,
and
man.
but there was a parked car.
So scary when you got chased.
I was fucking terrified.
It's absolute. I remember I got chased so many times doing that shit, man.
But there was a parked
as well,
car,
so I was always the worst one for getting caught.
And he was like running around the parked car, so I'd go that way, he'd go that way, and we were like across the parked car to each other. I was so scared I shit my pants. And another time on the way home after, like, this was primary school as well. Yeah. Opposite Greenwich Hospital, there was like them fruit and veg shops that's outside as well. Like you've got all the. And I picked up a melon, just showing off to my mates, and I threw it into the shop. So we all ran. Man. And we're laughing about 100. I look back, there is this guy. I don't know how old he was. He was a tall man. He was bombing it. There was I was a fast runner, man. I was like a sprinter.
Yeah.
There was no way I'm getting away from this. This guy was bombing it.
God.
And he just properly roughed me up, man. He threw me up against his shop window. He was just throwing me around.
Oh, no.
I was so scared. And he dragged me back and he asked my name and address. And I told him, I think I gave him the same address they have in the young ones. Like I just made an address up.
Really? Me and my mates used to sort of use each other's names and addresses. Like if you got busted on the train without a ticket, we had this sort of like group rule that you could just give one of the others. So obviously if they showed up with anything, they'd be like, I went on that train that day. And you know,
I used to do that. Or I used to change my first name and just keep my surname because someone said they do the surname to the address when they check, so it don't matter.
Right.
Just change your first name.
Oh yeah, just always remember your old mates. Like, you know, that's a good thing to have. Like if you ever get busted. Although nowadays everyone's got ID on them, innit? In the old days you didn't have to carry anything.
I still don't know how much a train fine is nowadays. It used to be a tenner. I bet it's more than that.
I think it's like £100 or something probably now.
Yeah, might as well buy a ticket, innit?
Yeah, exactly. What's this? So, because I put on our WhatsApp group like any questions or topics, and my cousin Chris, who's in the group. I don't know if people know that. My cousin Chris is a patron and he's in the group. He doesn't pitch in much, but he pitched in saying he wants the Family Secrets episode. Yeah, we talked about doing a patron only.
Oh, yeah.
We will do it.
Is Chris the one whose dad's gay, but they don't know?
You just made that. That's a good prank, man. That'd be such a funny secret. If that was one of the secrets, is Chris's dad's gay.
I did that to my mate the other day. I said to Dean, because Dean and Ricky are brothers, like they're both of my good mates. And I said to Dean, did you hear about Ricky's mum when we were younger? And pretended to like, as if it was I mean, no. Because we were talking about people that are back. Yeah, it's funny, man.
But no, Chris, if you're watching, mate, we will do it. Chris doesn't know any of the things I'm going to share. And to be honest, he won't be affected as such in that...
You've got a female cousin as well, haven't you? That
I've got loads of cousins.
Yeah, but I've spoken to them before.
Which one would that be?
Sophie Donnelly isn't your cousin, no?
I don't think she...
I spoke to one of your cousins a couple of years ago.
I've got a cousin... who's been to some gigs, Lisa. I don't know. There's a few. I've got a few cousins kicking about. I don't know which one it would have been, but yeah, it's
probably the fittest one if I'm chatting to her.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who it would be.
His name was Chris, I think.
I'm pretty sure Sophie's not my cousin Sophie. I don't think Sophie in the group is my cousin Sophie. That'd be, unless I've just learnt that.
No, it's just the same surname.
Yeah. So the things that I sort of, my little family secrets that I don't really want to say publicly, but I would say on a Patreon. They wouldn't really. They sort of, Chris would be, I think, surprised to hear about them. So, but they wouldn't be ones that sort of cross over as such with his side.
Yeah.
You know, it would be. It'd be more. So he'd be able to enjoy them from a distance, I think. But we should do it. We should do one proper.
Definitely, we do a patron get together as well at some point, eh?
Yeah. Here we go. What do you do when you're performing and you know you can't get the audience back? This one's probably more for you. What do you do at most gigs, Julian? No, I mean, to be honest, once they're gone, I actually think there's a sort of freedom in that moment. I think it's when they're just, it feels like you can get them. That's then you're desperately trying to get them. But I think there's a moment of freedom. If the gig just goes and you're like, there's nothing I can do now to get these lot back. I think there's a sort of, the weight almost feels lifted and you're like, I can just be fucking do whatever I want. What are you doing?
Sorry. I had to...
You just stopped talking.
Sorry.
What are you playing
no, you were talking. I weren't, was I?
Yeah, no, I finished. I said about how that, and I thought you said I thought you were coming in with something, but then you just started doing some personal admin.
Yeah. No, I just had to do my taxes.
Sorry,
my taxes are due at the end of Jan. Just thought I like to keep ahead of
Oh
things.
man.
Yeah, like what was I saying?
Yeah. I was saying about
The only
like, that
reason I
thing when
did
you were.
that is that I got a thing come up on my phone, and I had to open it because I thought it was an emergency for a minute.
Oh, okay. But what was it?
It
Just a
was a
normal thing.
Hinge. It was a Hinge banner.
It was what do you do when you feel like the audience aren't coming, when you can't get the audience
That
back?
was
What's
it.
your
Yeah,
feeling?
yeah. I don't know. Like I'd say last Thursday, I was on first, and they were more self-conscious at the beginning.
Yes.
But I just kind of, just enjoyed. I could see, I was having a note. They were enjoying it. There was
Yeah.
a bit of tension of some people,
Right.
like gasps, as you know what I mean. It's not even that bad. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
wait
yeah,
till I
yeah.
get to this joke. But
Yeah.
like, I just kind of, I don't know. It's almost if the audience are quiet, you got to like it would throw me years ago.
Yeah, of
But you
course.
just got to pretend like, it's just a play. It's a one-man play. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And just enjoy it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think there is something in that. Like,
I did enjoy it while I was on stage. It was only when I came off, I was like, it's a bit like, ugh. But
yeah, 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 yeah.
it was fine on stage. I like a carpeted stage.
Right, okay. Well, for what reason?
It just feels comfortable. It feels kind of more, you feel more safe and
Right.
secure.
I don't know. It feels a bit too soft for like in terms of I like I like a big old theatre stage, or that sort of like the boards, treading the boards, man.
Yeah, I do like that. But
Um,
if it's a smaller gig or whatever, like I like a carpeted stage. Want to
let's do
get
another
some
question.
slippers.
Philip Schofield is doing Castaway in an attempt to redeem himself after the ITV scandal that cancelled his career. How would you go about publicly rebuilding your reputation after you got cancelled for some unforgivable deviant behaviour? I thought you said after you get, like it was a prediction. When you two get cancelled, how would you publicly rebuild your reputation? It's a hard one, isn't it? I think if you're someone, I cannot see Philip Schofield rebuilding this, even though he didn't, like, he's not bloody
When you're the
Harvey
nicest
Weinstein.
guy, or like you're so moral about other people, it kind of takes that away. You know what I mean? And so he's a
Yeah,
different,
I
unless he
can't imagine him
rebranded.
rebuilding
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And played a
But do
nonce in
the
a
Russell
film or
Brand,
something,
come out as get basically accused of loads of sexual crimes,
and
go
just
off
go
and
and have
become a
a
Christian in
baptism.
America. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's sort of he's gone so extremes into such a different. He's got a totally different audience than he did a decade ago now. Like it's almost no crossover. It's a totally new selection
Yeah,
of
I
people.
guess. Yeah, he's like
That's how he's done it. He's not rehabilitated himself. What he's
America
done is just
really liked him. A big part of them, anyway. Like,
well, no, the Christian and the
yeah, like the
Christian
Christian
right
right,
and
I guess. Yeah,
Republicans. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is, I mean, and considering he was essentially a Buddhist left wing
yeah, like
hippie,
don't vote.
yeah,
Like
he's
all of
gone
that
so
stuff.
far. Like, so that he's rehabilitated it by just basically creating a whole new persona. Whereas I think Philip Schofield would have to do something similar. I cannot see him just doing a bloody desert island TV show and suddenly go like, "Oh, I really liked him on that island."
He'll have
Do you
like
know
a
what I mean?
PR team kind of brainstorming and coming up with ideas and
Yeah,
strategies,
yeah,
and
yeah.
but they don't get it right a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it can. I mean, it can work, but I don't think it's too soon. I think at the minute as well, it's too fresh.
Do you remember
I
Max
listened to
Clifford? That he was the
yeah,
famous
yeah,
PR
yeah,
guy. He's in jail, isn't he?
yeah. What did he do? Was he a wrong one,
He
wasn't
was a wrong un, yeah.
he? Yeah,
I think there
but
was
I
some
listened to
young boys. Maybe it
what?
was maybe it was some young slam piece that he was hooking up with.
But I listened to this podcast called British Scandal. I'm sure I've recommended it on here. It's Matt Ford and Alice Levine. They do 4-part episeries on just British scandals. Like, I listened to the Charles and Camilla one. It's quality, man. But like in that, you realise like the fact that Camilla is now like essentially the queen consort, they call her, and she's actually relatively popular. You know, she's not massively disliked. If you compare that to her reputation when Charles and Diana broke up, and then after Diana's death, like she was literally the most hated woman in the country, and like you know, it shows that you can rehabilitate a reputation, irregardless of how much people hate you. And often it's just time. You need a bit of time.
Yeah,
So
because Camilla, I mean, she's going to be kind of the antichrist a bit when she first, because Diana was such a like, you know, held in such high regard, I guess, eh?
yeah.
But time heals.
I say, I think that's what someone like, you know, Philip Schofield should have done. You know, because he basically was just a bit of a dirty boy, wasn't he? I don't, and the guy was quite young, and it
He didn't
feels a bit
break a law,
predatory.
did he? But it is,
No,
yeah, the
he
guy.
weren't rogering a 10-year-old boy, like you know.
Nah, but the boy was young, though, innit? And he was
and
grooming
he sort
him
of
a bit.
groomed him a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if and when whatever happened, it wasn't. You know, it technically wasn't illegal. So I know it's a horrible
I
way to
doubt he's
describe
going to
it.
be prime time, though.
No, not at all. But I think he should have just sat on it, give it 5 years, write a memoir, and come out and say like, my dad
whatever
was actually,
sexual
I was
position
wrong,
he
and give
did.
it all that shit, and just you know, if he wanted to, like he's probably got enough money, man. If you're that rich and he's had a 30-year career, I think if you get done, mate, just retire. You know, sit on all your money, go on holiday.
Some of them nonsense.
Go
Not
on
that
Thailand and bang some boys.
Go and get some young uns in Thailand. Go hit up the orphanage in Phuket. But people like, you know, Rolf Harris, like I couldn't believe when it came out about him.
I know.
I mean, he was like a fucking amazing artist, a fucking pop star, personality. Just so original, wasn't he? Like what he did was like so random.
Yeah, it was. It was weird, but like, yeah, it just.
I think a part of these nonsense is that I don't know their charisma and stuff, like Jimmy Savile, like their sexual kind of energy comes out. I don't know, like they work so hard to cover it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Right. So yeah, I don't think I would. I would just give it loads of time. Would be the answer to my.
Give it time, lay low. You know what I mean? Go to
Derek's
Phuket.
Worst name a parent has given their child. What's the worst? Have you ever met anyone with a really bad name? I don't know. There's no kids at my Twyla's school.
You know, there can be foreign names that aren't good words in English. You know what I mean? Like, as in...
All right, mate.
All right, I think we're going to leave that there, Julian. No, I mean, there was a Chinese kid I used to go to school with that his name was like a racial slur, basically.
What's it? Wow.
Yeah, so much so I won't say his name.
Okay. Now you've left it in our head to just say
it wasn't the
slurs.
N word, but it was the C word. You know what?
C word.
Yeah, like
right, yes, I do actually think I know what you mean.
I mean,
Jesus, it's an old school one.
Yeah,
as well.
It's an old school one.
Proper,
you've got a tattoo of it.
Know, yeah. That's like that's a proper. That's a retro one. 80s, 70s.
I don't know how it was spelt though, to be honest.
No, let's not have a guess. But yeah, there's some people have come in. Somebody's birthday. It's Bonnie's birthday. Happy birthday, Bonnie.
Oh, happy birthday, Bonnie.
She's 41. Good age. She said, "What's the top 3 things you're currently watching on TV and why?"
Maths.
I've just finished stuff, so I'm not on anything in a minute. I need to get on something.
I've liked Married at First Sight for about a year and a half. I've watched the seasons. I think maybe this is the 3rd UK one, and I'm into that fucking Love Island, Married at First Sight, even celebrity dating. Nothing else was on, so I got into that.
Have you watched any of Chris McCausland on Strictly?
No. Any
Mate, I
good?
watched his dance from last night. I said this evening, I just scanned through last night and watched some of the dances. He's great, man.
Is he?
Like,
Is he doing well?
yeah,
Oh, that's good.
he's doing quality. I mean, early doors, I would predict he's going to win it. Like, in terms of, obviously it's insane. Like, when the fact that you've got, he's the first blind person to ever go on Strictly. And the woman he's paired up with is teaching him amazing. Like, he's actually quite, he's got good rhythm. His feet are very good, and so that's just like, even though obviously he's up against it so much harder than anyone else, what he's got to do.
I keep telling Sean he should do Strictly.
He needs to get disabled first before he goes back on it.
But yeah, I remember once, Chris, when I first met Chris years ago, we were at North Greenwich Station, so I had to meet him at the Tube, and I was driving to the gig, and obviously he's blind, and he came through the barriers, and I went over to him and said, and then I held his hand.
Right.
So I'm holding his hand, walking along.
Man.
I'd never like helped a blind person before. I don't think.
Yeah. He normally,
I've always
like
gone, nah. But I'm holding his hand, and we're going up the escalator, and I'm holding his hand. Man. I look round, and he's beetroot red. And I went, man. You're right. He went, yeah, can you just put your hand on my arm and not like my hand? We're just walking along like a gay couple.
Oh, you just got your hand on his lower back like he's your Gian friend going into a restaurant.
It was funny, man.
He's funny, man. Like, I'm like, he's a cool guy as well. I've always
he's
liked
a lovely guy, man.
But it is that thing you just forget sometimes, even the language you use. I once did Outside the Box with him, and I was on first, and he was on in the middle, and then I came off. And the gig was fun, but like whoever did the tech had the lights up really bright. It was like literally you couldn't see anything. It may hurt your eyes. So I came off and he went, "How's the gig?" And I went, "Oh man, they're all right, And I went, "Oh, the problem is the lights are too bright." And he went, "Mate, that don't really affect me, does it?"
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. But
I think most people though, it's rare that someone's 100% blind, isn't it? Like even like 85%.
I think people that are fully blind, I do think are pretty,
It's not like they just see black, though, is it? I think they can see sort of, I don't know.
What can I see?
I remember him asking me the time once, and I pointed at my clock. And it was just silent for a minute. I went, oh, yeah, I mean...
But I recommend watching that. Like, I don't like reality TV or anything like that. Strictly is like the one that I can just about handle. And... But even then, I skip through most of it.
I like the relationships on reality, though, and the dramas and the deceit and the two-facedness and the niceness. And I like it. I think it's a nice microcosm of life. And it's like watching a David Attenborough documentary, but about humans. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also, there's a lot of production going into it.
Yeah, there is a bit of that.
Driven.
Yeah.
That's the thing I don't like about reality TV is if it was old school... Season 1 of Big Brother. Do you remember when it was just chaos?
Craig one.
Fights and shit.
Yeah.
And that was when I quite liked reality TV, and now I think it's just all too.
It is
driven.
A bit too much.
It's an agenda.
I feel like this season is a little bit manufactured. Like they've put couples together they know. I don't know, but a bit too much. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there's fake people that just want to be on telly. You know what I mean? You can tell.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any Fargo? The series, not the film?
Nah, I've been meaning to.
I've not. Season 5's just gone out recently, but I've not done season 4 yet. So I've just started watching that, which I think I'm going to enjoy. I like it. It's a good show. All right, let's do. People have got some good names coming in, man. Derek, who was a teacher. Is he not still a teacher? Is he? He's retired now.
I think he does still do a bit.
Does he still teach? I can't remember. He once taught somebody called Caden, but it's spelled K-Den. Caden. Ooh.
I don't... is that bad, is it?
What? Caden.
It's just spelled wrong, is it?
Bad. Well, it's just spelled weird. Let's do... How secure are your online passwords? Do you lack the creativity of them?
Look at this fucking thief asking questions.
Yeah. Do you lack the creativity or imagination to create secure passwords? I'm all right at them. I've definitely got a bit of a. I reckon most of my ones I've got a bit of a format
What
for.
are your ones?
Do you know? I mean, we can't say what they are, but for any of our shared ones, like our
We've got some rude
logging,
ones.
they're all rude. There's all a lot of bodily functions going on, man. I always pick them
lot
if it's something that
lot
somebody
of
else is
come
going to
and
see.
we.
What? Oh, mate, Ed has asked, what was the last conversation you had that took a terrible, unforeseeable turn? I remembered this the other day because I went past my local pub and I think it was like just before Edinburgh. I went, one of my oldest, I'd say one of my oldest mates who is not like, we weren't the same age. Like he was about, I think he's like 6 years older than me, but he lived up the road. So him and my dad were best mates. And since I moved back to Tooting, sort of me and him have slightly reconnected, and we'll go for a pint every few months. And finally, he came to watch me at a gig. He came to the Banana to watch me, and he went, "Oh, is it all right if I bring my girlfriend?" Like he went through a really horrible divorce. His ex was a fucking nightmare, and basically he's got this new girlfriend, and she seemed really quite weirdly prim and proper. Considering he's a plumber, he's a bit of a geezer plumber, mate. Used to have a fight and everything. And she's from your way actually. She lives over in Blackheath, and she was like quite posh. And
What's her name?
I don't know, I can't remember, but anyway, it was by the by. Because basically, I just found her quite hard to crack. He's a good laugh, and like she was really sort of. After the gig, and we went for drinks, and then we ended up going to a lock-in in our local pub. And like I finally felt like I was cracking her, and like going, all right, I feel like she's finally sort of come out of her shell a bit. And we were talking about my mate's divorce and how brutal it was. And I said, and I went, oh, so what? Because she had a kid as well. So I was like, I assumed in my head she's divorced. I went, so tell me your bloody ex wasn't as fucking much of a nightmare as his. And she just went, yeah, he died like that. And it was one of them moments where you just feel like, oh man, what have I done here? Like I properly had we'd be having such a laugh about how much of a fucking div his ex was. And I just went headlong into, I bet your fucking ex wasn't that bad. And she was just like, oh yeah, he actually died. And you could see it was it wasn't even one of the ones where she said it as like a little bit of a laugh. It was like said really like, oh yeah, like it was quite sad the way she said it. And it just totally just ruined the night. Like, basically, I couldn't come back from that.
But the thing is that you'd not done anything wrong either.
No, not at
that
all.
you're not going to guess that. But yeah,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do
I've
think
done
she
that.
could
I laughed
have
at some.
responded better, but I do think I just went too hard straight into. I thought I'd slightly cracked her, and I just thought I went in too big, man, too big a personal question like I weren't ready for.
When we were in our 20s once, me and my mate, like there was a group of us in Dorringtons, which used to be the Tunnel Club right near the Blackwall Tunnel. It's it was a rough club. We were in there. All these guys from Woolwich are in there. We're like from Greenwich. We're in there, and and there was this one guy, and my mate. I don't know, like we're talking to them. Everyone's getting on all right. It's tense though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no like arguing or anything. And my mate, just for no reason, insulted. He said to this other guy who was from Woolwich, like this big roided guy, he insulted. He pointed at a girl and insulted her appearance, just as a little bit of banter to the guy.
No,
and it was the guy's girlfriend.
Ugh.
And it fucking suddenly went completely pear-shaped.
Oh man.
We were like, it just kicked off, man. And my mate's outside with like 3 of them, and I don't know, we all got away unharmed. But like, I didn't even know what had happened. But my mate come over to me, and he was like, I don't know, it was mortifying. Basically, we're in a bad situation. He just insulted her for no reason, just for there was nothing to say, so he said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So bad.
There was a question. Let's do a couple of quick ones. Just to sort of try and get them through because there's loads. Dan asked, "Is there any plans to get Trevor Crook back on?" We've had this discussion recently.
I spoke to Trevor recently. He said, "Get in touch." Yeah.
Boy, but the problem we've got is the new studio where we use fortnightly is in Woolwich,
He does
And
travel around to gigs and stuff, though.
yeah, but he gets on buses and like getting him to Woolwich would be a nightmare. So the plan is to try and get a date sorted where I can drive him over.
Well,
He
he's
won't.
in
He doesn't get on the
Brixton,
tube
isn't
because
he?
of his
Yeah.
OCD. Yeah, so he can't get on the tube. He can only get on buses, and getting to Woolwich from southwest London on buses will take
What, he
hours
won't
and
do the
hours.
tube?
No, he won't get on the tube. No,
I mean, he
he's
could go
got
to
phobia of
Blackheath
it.
Station, Brixton, London Bridge, Blackheath's quite easy.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't really even get trains. He literally gets buses unless it's a long journey. So I'm trying to work out a way of getting him to do it, but I think we will make it work. And also, he can't really do online stuff because, um, he doesn't have the technological know-how. Let's do one final question. Come on, let's do James. Who's one of the comics you mute on Twitter but you can't unfollow? Mate, I would say that is most comedians. If I'm
I'd
honest.
say 50%. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like a lot of. I really like a lot of the people
Oh,
I've
mate, I've
muted.
muted good mates.
Yeah,
Like, it's just so fun. No, because it's
I
Twitter. It ain't
mute
like I'm not
blood
on Twitter to
brothers.
follow mates. Yeah.
We
Muted
made
my
a
mum.
pact with our blood.
Just knifed out. Just dripping.
Drank each other's piss in a ceremony on a hill. But I do mute them, on Twitter.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think I've got no. There's no. I think on Twitter, I use Twitter to look at just silly jokes and football news. That's my thing on Twitter. And if I've got a mate, it could be a really good mate who's a comedian. If they say anything earnest or anything too political, I'm out. I'd say they're on equal level. Like, I would say if I had a mate who suddenly started tweeting about how much they loved fucking Boris Johnson or some shit I'd think stupid, they obviously get muted, but I reckon I would mute them as quick if they start doing them earnest tweets about, I just want to say, anyone who comes out to my shows, it means so much. I'm like,
shout
mute,
out,
mate.
check on your neighbour, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's okay to not be okay. Well, it's
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
for
No,
me to not fucking hear your tweets then, mate.
Yeah. It's okay to mute you.
It's okay to shut your mouth.
I know, because you know that it's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I find earnestness on social media so. But I find it. I don't believe it really.
Nor do I.
I believe it. If I hear somebody on stage at the end of a tour show say like, "Guys, it means so much for coming out. Thanks for that." I'm like, "Yeah, it's nice. I heard it." But I just find everything on social media insincere. I don't know what it is. Everything on every platform of it. So that's why I'm quite quick to mute people. But I rarely unfollow people. I reckon, like, if you went through who I follow, I reckon I still follow probably people like Russell Brand. I can't remember the last time I unfollowed somebody.
On Facebook,
but I muted most of them years and years and years ago.
You can unfollow on Facebook, but still be friends, can't you? So that's quite.
What do you mean? So
you don't see people because I mean, I've got my feed on Facebook.
On Twitter, though.
Is people I don't know, like.
Right.
So I'm just unfollowing a lot. But you're still their friend, so they won't know you've unfollowed.
That's the same as muting now on Twitter. If you mute them, you still follow them, but you just don't.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. Yeah, it's the same basically.
That's it, isn't it? So that's But I'm trying to think. Like, I've got basically. There's so many. I've got so many comedians that like I've muted. I'd say probably like if you went through a list, I'd probably be able to. I might be able to check how many people I've muted. How do you find that? Filters, mutes. Oh, no,
yeah, I've muted a hell of a lot, man. I mute on their Insta as well.
Yeah, I've definitely muted someone those. I don't know if you can check who you've muted anymore. It's all changed, hasn't it? X has changed. Yeah, man, it's all weird. I can't see anything. Anyway, there we go. Let's wrap it up. And we'll be back in the studio this week. So, any other business? There's nothing there.
Back in the studio this week. I'm gigging in London this week.
I think I'm gigging in London
2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday.
Where are you?
Comedy Carnival 2 on Saturday, Comedy Carnival 1 on Friday, and Dave Ward's Covent Garden one on Friday as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in town. On Friday, I'm at 99 Club and Banana.
Oh, nice.
Saturday, I've got something else on Banana as well. So, yeah, cool. Come out and see us if you're in London.
London town, bruv.
London town. And we'll speak to you later. Speak to you later in the week. Hope everyone's all right. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.